What is up, everyone? Today I will be using my mind powers of always being right to predict some of my favorite booktubers' future favorite books of 2022. And I'm going to try to pick some books that these booktubers have expressed interest in and are hopefully going to read this year, but maybe they won't. But if they pick it up in a future year, it will be their favorite book of that future year. And because all of my predictions are right all of the time, I know all of these picks are correct, but I'll be going in order from my most confident picks to my least confident. So like this first one will be I'm 110% sure on, and then the next ones will go down like 109, 108% sure on. But I'm over 100% sure on all of these. So you heard it here first, okay? First, we have Klaus, the contradictorian. And for him, I'm picking The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. So we all know that Klaus hates most books, but he does like Lord of the Rings. And this is a modern version of Lord of the Rings. So that was basically my thought process, and also I like The Ember Blade, and Klaus and I have fairly similar tastes a lot of times, actually. But I think where Klaus and I differ most is he talks about prose more, and like the writing style and stuff, and this has a phenomenal writing style, I think. It's very well written. So because of that, and because of all like the Lord of the Rings tropes, but revitalized and done in a very new way, I think Klaus will like this book. Up next, we've got an entire series. Boom, Books of Babel, and this is going to be the favorite series that Johanna reads in 2021. I'm not sure which book will be her favorite, but I also feel like at the end of the year, she's going to say, I can't choose a favorite, because she will love them all so much, even the last one. And I know people have conflicting opinions on the last one, but I think the last book in this series is made for theme readers, and Johanna has categorized herself as a theme reader, more so than a character-driven or a plot-driven reader. And in many ways, I fall in the same category there, and that's a lot of why I think Johanna will like this entire series. But it also has good characters, good plots, good conspiracy theories and stuff. And I know she's not super into predicting everything that will happen in books, which is fine for this series. I feel like no one other than a few incredibly superior-minded people can predict things that are going to happen in this series. But like, I mean, I had no idea what was going on. Actually, I should probably not say that in a predictions video. What I meant to say was my predictions for this series were all completely spot on, and I couldn't have imagined it ending in any other way. What a catch. Stop doing this. I'm trying to read something. All right. You thought we were done talking about the Books of Babel. We are not done. We are never done here. But up next, Ponderings of Pete. Now, for him specifically, I'm going to pick the third book in the Books of Babel series, The Hod King. So, Pete has read the first book in the Books of Babel series, and I'm trying not to do sequels for any of these, but for Pete, I am doing a sequel. And I'm doing this because Pete seemed to like Senlin Ascends, and he also seemed to like the unique plot structure choices that Josiah Bancroft used in Senlin Ascends, and I feel like there's more interesting choices, more very bold choices throughout this series, and he actually did a video on the plot structure of Senlin Ascends, which has spoilers for Senlin. Yeah, that's mostly why I think he'll like The Hod King, and because he enjoyed Senlin. Pete might not like the last one, though. We'll see. All right, up next, we've got Anitha, and we knew that I had to get Brandon Sanderson on here at some point, so here it is, Mistborn. And this is another one where it could be the entire series that is her favorite of 2022. But yes, I feel like Sanderson books are kind of made for Anitha because Anitha has a very strong memory, and remembering like various things that happened and connecting them all together is super important in all Sanderson books. But in addition to that, it's Mistborn. Everyone loves Mistborn. There's like the emotions, there's the highs, the lows, the Sanderlanche, everything. Anitha will love this. I think everyone will love this. And I was actually surprised when she said she hadn't read it because, like, I feel like everyone's read this book, or at least some Sanderson. So I'm definitely super excited to hear her thoughts. Up next, Boom, The Black Coast by Mike Brooks. And this is a pick for Abby Salter. So on Abby's channel, she's said a few times recently that she's transitioning from reading more YA books to more adult fantasy books. And The Black Coast is definitely adult fantasy, but it has a few YA tropes that I think she will like more than most people. And then everything else I feel like is phenomenal in this book. And whenever Abby talks about City of Brass, I always think of The Black Coast for some reason, and that's like one of her favorite series, if not her favorite series, I'm not sure. So yeah, that's why I'm picking The Black Coast for her. Now that I'm saying my reasoning out loud, it sounds dumb, but it could turn out to be true. Who knows? Up next, we've got The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wong for Cait, the Almost Book Doctor. Now, this is actually a pretty bold pick for me to pick for Cait, because she said she has read the first chapter or two a few times and just hasn't gotten into it. We're gonna have to do a bullying campaign on Cait and just tell her to get to chapter 7. And then I think when she's at like chapter 7 or 8, she will not want to put the book down, and it will be her favorite of 2022. And I say that because no one's really too invested before chapter 7 or 8. But then we've got the emotional highs and the emotional lows and just all the emotions. And she posted a meme about her reading books, and I'm going to put it on the screen because I don't remember the meme at all. But it's basically about her liking books that are very like emotional and make her upset and how like they're relaxing, and this book kind of fits in that category. So yes, go to Cait's channel and then tell her to read this book at some point this year on a totally irrelevant video. We've got to have very targeted Sword of Kaigan harassment. Okay, next we've got Orconomics by J. Zachary Pike, and this pick is for Alan of the Library of Alexandria. This will be his favorite book of 2022. I picked this book for Alan because it has obviously a lot of satire, kind of like Guards, and Terry Pratchett and the Discworld. It also has characters that are easy to fall in love with, and I didn't even realize I was falling in love with these characters because I was laughing so much from other things or thinking about some of the social commentary. And a lot of the social commentary in this book is about Dungeons and Dragons and making fun of like RPG, video games, Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that. And I feel like that will resonate like very strongly with Alan because he talks about video games sometimes, and he's also played quite a bit of Dungeons and Dragons. I wonder if Alan will get too mad when reading this book because it's got things that everyone who's played D&D will be reminded of, like a party member that does something stupid for like a completely inexplicable reason, or like a very antagonistic party member. And everyone who's played D&D has come across like someone who's annoying or like a situation that's annoying. And I could almost picture Alan reading this book and being like, yes, I totally relate to that, and just going on like a rant unrelated to the book about some thing that happened like 5 years ago or something, because I did that. I mean, but like Alan also is a good ranter as well, similar to myself. Alan's actually a better ranter than me. We've got to give credit where credit is due. But yes, I will be putting this on his patron buddy read pick wheel thing, whatever, from now until the end of time, or until Alan reads it. And I encourage you to do it the same if you're part of Alan's Patreon. Up next, oh wait, someone linked this to me. What is this?
Oh gosh.
That's right, we've got a daily double. This is for Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and I have 2 picks for him, and I couldn't decide between them, so we get to use the Alan Daily Double sound effect. We've got City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett, and we've got Jade City by Fonda Lee, and these are 2 books that take place in one city. Let's do one at a time. So first, Jade City. Why will Andrew love Jade City? Well, first, he talks about urban fantasy quite a bit, and it seems to be a subgenre of fantasy that he likes. And yeah, I'm just surprised that he hasn't read this because I don't know. I feel like he's read everything, and also everyone on BookTube has read Jade City. So I don't know what's going on because this is like the best urban fantasy out there, at least recently, that's come out. Obviously, Dresden Files exists, but this is a bit more recent, and I think the magic in here is top notch. I think the world building is solid. The characters definitely give people strong emotions, so I think Andrew will like most of them, probably, but we will see. Who knows? But City of Stairs has some horror elements, and it's not really too much horror. It's mostly fantasy, but because Andrew reads horror as well, I think he will like City of Stairs. In addition to it just being a good book and being something that seems like it would be up his alley, and him talking about it and seeming very excited for it. Probably, I think the 3rd book will be his favorite if he reads all the books in the series, because City of Miracles definitely has some more like spooky horror type things. And for me personally, I think it follows around the most likable character of the 3 books, but who knows? Lastly, we've got The Grace of Kings for Grace. And yeah, her name is on the cover, so she's obligated to like the book. And yeah, obviously, everyone I've mentioned on this list reads and likes epic fantasy books and series, but I feel like Grace likes Wheel of Time and Malice more than I do, and those series have characters that are harder for me personally to connect with. However, I really liked Grace of Kings, but I also kind of felt that the characters were not the easiest to connect with in the Grace of Kings. So I guess my point is, if Grace can like Wheel of Time and Malice much more than I do, that means she will also like Grace of Kings more than I do. Is that a good reason for me to pick Grace for Grace of Kings? I don't know. The Grace of Kings is a hard book because I feel like I could put this book for like literally anyone because I liked it so much, and I feel like a lot of the people I'm talking about have fairly similar tastes to me. But at the same time, this book has kind of like a lower rating than any of the other books I'm talking about in terms of Goodreads ratings. So I feel like other people like this book less than I do, partly because of that. So it's weird because I feel like everyone will like this book, but the Goodreads community is like, no, this is not the best book. But I do feel like Grace and I usually have pretty similar tastes and interests and just like a way of looking at things, I think. So yeah, I think Grace will like this book. I feel like my reasons have gotten less good, or I've gotten less confident in my picks as we've gone later and later in this video. But yeah, it's okay. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Check out all the booktubers I talked about and see if these are their favorite books. Actually, you don't have to check them out because you already know what their favorite books of 2022 will be. No, just kidding. Yeah, check them out. They're all wonderful. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.